Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for Coastal Connections. I'm Ashley Smith, and I am very excited to talk about what is happening coming up here in Hampton Roads. A lot of events. We have a lot to get to today, but we're starting with one that, quite frankly, is no stranger to Hampton Roads, the Virginia International Tattoo. That is coming up again this year. We're excited to be a part of it and to talk about it. So joining me now to talk more is Scott Jackson with the International Tattoo. Very good to see you again, Scott.
Good to see you. Thank you.
It's going to be a big year for the International Tattoo. And for those of you that have never been, this has nothing to do with what you put on your skin, right? So before we go into this year's festivities, just tell us what the International Tattoo is first.
Sure, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So tattoo, we're not used to that word in this context. It's actually a Dutch word, and it means tap off, like turning off a beer tap.
Okay.
So basically, when there were soldiers stationed in the Netherlands to get them back to the base, guess where they found them? At the local bar. So the commanding officer wanted all their soldiers back safe and sound for the night. They would send someone through the town with a drum to play a little rhythm, and they would yell out tattoo, which meant turn off the tap, last call, get yourselves back to the base. So tattoo became a big ceremonial beat and retreat with music, and people from the town started coming, and then the bagpipers wanted to take part, and the Highland dancers wanted to as well. So there are these very spectacular performances with a strong military tradition.
It's awesome. You know, all this time that I knew that the tattoo was about the military, but I never knew the story behind that. So the more you know. There you go. And this is a big year because there's a lot happening with the tattoo. Every year there's a different theme. So what's the theme for this year?
Sure. Our theme is called Courage and Commitment, a salute to women in the military. About half our audience members come year after year, and there's certain parts of the tattoo they always want to see. They want to hear the service songs. They want to hear Amazing Grace. They want to see the bagpipes. But they like to have some variety, so we've had a different theme each year for a number of years. I've really enjoyed looking into this theme and putting it together. It's an incredible story, women in the military. They didn't serve for the very first time in uniform till World War I, which is just 101 years ago. So in that short time, they've gone from being a maximum of 2% of the military in very limited roles to now every job in the DoD is open to women, and they're about 16% of the military. So incredible journey. And here we are in Hampton Roads with the greatest population of active duty and veterans in the country. So we're really happy to share this with everyone.
You know, I feel like you gave a lot of kind of history of women in the military there in just those few moments. Will there be a lot of chances to learn more about women in the military and that history over the years at the tattoo?
Absolutely. In fact, we're really lucky. We're going to do kind of a finale video, and Condoleezza Rice, our former Secretary of State, agreed to narrate it for us, and her staff helped us put together, I think, a really accurate but also entertaining and inspiring piece on the history of women in the military and some of her perspectives, and we'll do that with live music. And the other aspect of the show, we've just invited a bunch of women to be featured as performers. So Amazing Grace will be sung by 4 women, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, in the building. Wow. But we also have, from video, women, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, forward deployed as far away as South Korea and Japan. We'll have women participating in the Marine obstacle race and rappelling from the ceiling of the building, members of a Romanian rifle team. So I think you'll get some history, but also a really great dose of present day. I think it's important that we don't tell you how inspiring people. We let them show you. And so I think we'll do that a lot during the show.
I tell you what, I mean, you had me at Amazing Grace and all of them coming together and singing. I mean, that's going to be a just give you chills type moment, I'm sure. I have to ask you really quickly about the tattoo hullabaloo. Did I say that right? Is that a new thing for the tattoo?
It's been new for a couple years.
Okay.
And what we found, a lot of people travel. People come from the whole country to see the show, and they want more than just the 2-hour show. So they come early. A lot of the groups will come early, and they were lining up 1 and 2 hours early. So we provide entertainment, bagpiping, custom beers and merchandise you can buy, chance to take selfies with a Marine, all kind of activities for about 3 hours. It's essentially like a free Highland Games that you can take part of as you're waiting for the show to start.
This is fantastic. There's also going to be an educational component, an outreach component to the show this year as well. Student matinees, master classes. You can certainly head to vafest.org/tattoo for more information on that. It's going to be a very jam-packed weekend, April 25th through the 28th. Make sure you check it out. And Scott, wonderful to see you again. Thank you so much for coming by. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Coastal Connections. Listen, I know it is early afternoon on a Sunday, but it is never too early to talk about some bling and some glitz and some glam. I'm here for it. I know you are too. So joining me now to talk more about it is Bob Batcher and Hugh Copeland talking about a really cool event that's happening May 10th at the Norfolk Masonic Temple. Before we dive into the event and all the glitz and glam that comes with it, it's with regard to Primeplus, Bob, right? Tell us about Primeplus first.
During the rest of the year, we believe in building a safe, respectful community for seniors. And seniors are 50 and above, where we take a holistic approach to health, fitness, and just living a good life. Now, one day a year, we thought of Ashley, didn't we?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, glitz and glam, Ashley.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So one day a year, we have the Masquerade Party, which is our fundraiser. But there's this magic that occurred between Hurrah and Primeplus, and that's bringing the intergenerational. Sounds serious, doesn't it?
I love
you put
it.
Tommy in a walker, singing. We can't tell him, right?
And
now we're talking about maybe you. What do you think?
Well, now that it's, broadcast
glam.
out there, I guess I have to then.
Listen, and when people think of the Masonic Temple, I think they think of Masons. Well, for many, many years, the Masonic Temple in Ward's Corner has been a place of great entertainment and food. So we have Omar with food. We have great entertainment. We're going to have an old-fashioned dinner theater.
Oh, wow.
Now, I understand this guy used to do dinner theater.
What have you not done,
So
Hugh?
we have him back. We have you back.
Well, yes, and the good thing about this show is, Bob mentioned, you have the Hurrah players performing with the seniors, and it's a great mix.
So cool.
Where more can you connect than with music and song and dance and just the joy of sharing? We did it last year,
It was awesome.
and it turned out to be such a great event. The Hurrahs love performing with the seniors, and likewise, and we're eager to come back and do it again. So this year, the theme is razzle dazzle, glitz and glam.
Yes.
So everybody's on board with this theme.
Okay, before we get into this year, I have to ask, tell us about last year for those that aren't familiar with this event. Maybe some highlights from last year, things to,
Last
get
year,
people
again,
going.
the concept was we would have an old-fashioned dinner theater. So Hugh put together one of his magical music reviews with a cast of thousands. It felt like. It was awesome. Wow. And we really kind of went out on a limb because we really weren't sure what we were going to have. And the night before at rehearsal is when we discovered there was magic. We had Tommy in a walker being sung to by a Hurrah player. We had the infamous Sharon Cook doing wonderful music. All that's coming back now. And so we kind of learned from it. However, on top of that, we're going to have a very unique 50-50. It talks about heads and tails, but that's all I'll go. Premier
And
events.
dinner, don't forget
the
the dinner.
dinner. Omar is dinner.
Omar.
We have two types of dinner experience because in the dinner theater you had the seated plated dinner.
Right.
And so for a mere $100 you get a table in front of the stage with a plated dinner and 2 bottles of wine per table, not per person.
Okay.
And then there's 450 seats, so we want to really push the balcony seats.
Great.
And with that, you get an upscale buffet dinner that goes with it.
Wow.
So it's really a high level of fun event. Now, reminder, May 10th is the Friday before Mother's Day.
Yes, it is.
So what better way, hint, hint, to celebrate your mom's Mother's Day, because you never celebrate your own, is to have her come for the, what do you think? A bunch
It's
of moms?
a perfect idea because
Love it.
you got the entertainment, you got the dinner all included right there, and the cross generations performing, singing together. Another theme is the joy of working together. Put on your happy face, all those things that make the seniors working with the Hurrahs and vice versa, just a wonderful experience.
I was going to ask, how has that been for everybody? I mean, you've worked with so many young people in this area for a long time, and then kind of, adding the generations together and having them work together. Have you kind of seen these moments blossom over the rehearsals?
When you first meet, they're the Hurrahs and here are the seniors, and then when they start working together and being together, it's just joyful. And they realize they learn from each other, and it's just a great experience for the audience, but for them likewise.
Absolutely.
Tickets available on Eventbrite, Primeplus. Just search Primeplus, and there it is.
Absolutely. There you go. May 10th, an evening of glitz and glam, Masquerade Dinner Theater. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. And for more info, you can also call that number right there, 757-625-5857. Bob, Hugh, wonderful to see y'all again.
Yay,
it's
always.
going to be fun. I guess we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Opening act.
Yay,
You see
glitz
what
and
they're
glam.
doing here?
What do you think? I think it's awesome.
I'll get them later. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Coastal Connections. We are here talking about a very special and important event that's coming up in the next few weeks. It's been going on here in Hampton Roads for a while now. The American Heart Association is having the Power to End Stroke Jazz Brunch. It's a wonderful time, but you get to learn a whole lot in the process. So joining me now to talk more about that, we have Dr. John Baker and Michelle Hills. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Dr. Baker, I do want to start with you and just talking a little bit about what exactly a stroke is. We hear the word all the time, but we might not be exactly familiar with how a stroke even happens. Can you tell us that?
Yeah, a stroke is when a blood vessel in the brain either bursts or gets plugged up with a blood clot. That cuts off blood flow to the brain or causes pressure on the brain so that it isn't functioning properly.
And you know, a lot of people don't even realize that there is this connection, if you will, to heart attacks or heart disease and stroke. You know, correct me however that's supposed to be, I guess, worded, but there is that connection there.
Yes, one of the biggest connections is high blood pressure. It affects all the blood vessels in the body. Sometimes the clots that go into the brain come from the heart, from things called atrial fibrillation, one of the more common causes of stroke amongst the elderly.
How does that typically happen? I know you mentioned, you know, the blood pressure being an issue and that sort of thing. Is it commonly a stress-related thing? Is it more age-related? What are some of the big reasons why people will end up having a stroke?
Stroke is age-related. The older a person gets, the more likely a person can have a stroke, but it also affects the young. So we're very cognizant that these processes start when someone's young. So starting to control their blood pressure while they're young, making sure that they control their weight, that they don't have a sedentary lifestyle, that they get approximately 30 minutes of exercise each day. Controlling diabetes is a very important part of that, and stopping smoking is a very big piece of it as well.
Absolutely. And one of the things we typically talk about very often is kind of being that watchdog all the time. And if you see the signs of a stroke, acting quickly. So can we talk about those signs and what you need to do immediately if you see someone having a stroke?
Yeah, we like to use the acronym FAST, F-A-S-T. So if someone's face is drooping or if their arm is weak, their speech becomes slurred. Then also sometimes if their balance is affected, as well as their vision, that they're having problems with one or both eyes. And the T is for time. Act fast, like you said. There are very good therapies by calling 911, getting to an emergency stroke center, of which we're fortunate to have many in this region, and getting things like intravenous medications to break up those clots or surgeries to remove the clots or to repair a burst blood vessel.
Absolutely. I do have one more question before we bring Michelle into the conversation. African Americans are very affected when it comes to stroke, and sometimes more than other ethnic groups. Can we talk about why exactly that is?
Well, the prevalence of hypertension among African Americans is amongst some of the highest in the world. They also have a propensity to more than 2/3 of men and women who are African American for obesity. The lack of exercise amongst African Americans also goes hand in hand with that. As well, the controlling cholesterol has become a problem for them. There is a disease called sickle cell anemia, which about 72,000 people in the world have, and the highest group of those having sickle cell anemia are African Americans.
So at this point, it's just important to spread the awareness, the information, the education of it. And, you know, I do feel like, Michelle, this event that's coming up, the Jazz Brunch, although it's open to everyone, it's certainly also calling for African Americans to come out to learn, to spread this information. Tell us about this event.
And so to piggyback on to Dr. Baker, exactly, African Americans are twice as likely to have a stroke than white Americans. Stroke is the 5th leading cause of death in the United States, and it's also a leading cause of severe long-term disability. And so we started the Power to End Stroke movement. It's an awareness campaign, an education campaign, and it's strictly really geared toward African Americans because we see this higher risk, right? And so we are putting on this event really just as a resource to the community around prevention and being knowledgeable. And so we're really excited. Our event's coming up. It's going to be on June 1st, which is a Saturday. It's going to be at Signet Family Life Center in the Mount Chapel in Chesapeake. So we're going to have live music, obviously jazz. It's a jazz brunch.
Right.
We're going to have a heart-healthy brunch. We're excited to have some empowerment sessions, really talking about prevention and education. Chesapeake Regional is going to be providing providing a lot of that. We're going to do fitness demos, cooking demos, and so really just empowering individuals to make some changes and understand their risk factors.
Awesome. So it's going to be fun, but more importantly, it's going to be informative, essentially.
Yes.
And there's the information there. Again, June 1st, call that number to RSVP. You can also visit that website to get more information. Again, it's happening June 1st. Certainly check that out. Dr. Baker, Michelle, thank you so much for both being here. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Coastal Connections. All right, everybody, set your destinations for Virginia. I know what you're thinking. We're already in Virginia. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about Destination Virginia. It's being put on by Symphonicity. We're going to find out all about it right now. Joining me, welcoming back at this point, Daniel Booth. Good to see you. And you have with you today Lynette Andrews. Wonderful to meet you.
Thank you.
We're talking about something very special happening for Symphonicity. So Lynette, bring us all in.
Yes, well, this season we are actually concluding on May 5th our series called Destinations, Your Passport to Great Music.
That's awesome.
And we've taken our audience around the world this season in 5 concerts, and we're landing back in Virginia.
Nice.
And it's the perfect time because right now Virginia, as you know, is celebrating the 400th anniversary. It's our Virginia's our birthplace of America, and it's also celebrating the ideals of democracy, diversity, and opportunity. And so we're doing this musically on the stage, but also the exciting part about this too is we're also bringing the love artwork signs from virginia.org as part of the Virginia is for Lovers. We're bringing that out to the Sandler Plaza, and residents and our audience can come between May 3rd and May 7th to take pictures, and then we're encouraging them to take photos and tag Symphonicity.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
Is there a hashtag that you're using or just to tag Symphonicity?
Hashtag.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Hashtag Symphonicity, do not forget that, but you can also tag them as well, right?
Correct.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Okay, so make sure you do that. They want to see those pictures. That's like an immersive experience because you're there with the signs and then you hear the music. This is really fantastic. And you know, Daniel, I have to ask you about resolutions. The Destination Virginia is featuring resolutions. So what does all of that mean?
Well, Resolutions is our first piece on this musical tribute to Virginia concert, written by Virginian composer Mark Camphouse, who lived out in the Blue Ridge area, but then now lives up in Northern Virginia on the George Mason University staff. Wow. He composed this piece based off Northern Virginia's history, the Fairfax Resolve. The 275th anniversary of Fairfax, Virginia commissioned this work, and we're going to give the regional premiere. But we're going to move from that also to the Blue Ridge Mountains with a little nod to the Blue Ridge in George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. And that's a very well-known work, of course, and it's going to feature a fantastic, amazing pianist from the Curtis Institute, Michael Davidman, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But we're going to do it in a special way. We're going to play it with some of the original scoring with saxophones and banjo and orchestra.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be fun. And then there's something in the water with Symphonicity too.
See what you did
That's
there.
right. We're going to do Debussy's La Mer, which is about the sea, a musical tribute to the sea. You really hear the rocking of the waves, the foam of the ocean. It's brilliant music, and that's how we're going to finish the big concert. But we do have a little special surprise in store at the end.
Okay.
It's a sing-along of Virginia's state song, Our Great Virginia. This song was, of course, in 2015, made the official song, and we're going to have a sing-along. The audience can come up on the stage and join us for a music video that we're going to make, and then go outside and run around the love artwork. We're going to render it again with video footage and everything, and make a wonderful sort of tribute from Virginia Beach to our great Commonwealth.
Oh my goodness. Now, when will people be able to see that whole compilation? Is that going to be later this year, maybe a little bit longer?
Absolutely. We plan on putting it together as soon as possible after the great festivities have ended.
Oh, that's going to be so nice. Okay, did Daniel leave anything out that we need to make sure that we mention?
We just want to make sure that the audience can come at 2 p.m. and they can enjoy food.
Okay.
We have little hand bites that are provided by Maynard Gwaltney of Smithfield. And we have pre-concert music, which is going to be performed by multi-celli. There are 20 cellists from the Virginia Beach City Public Schools. They're led by our principal cellist, who's Mary Hughes, and they'll provide music, and then at 2:30 there's going to be a pre-concert talk with the maestro. He'll give some insights and discuss the music that will be performed at 3 o'clock.
And don't forget, we're going to give a little reveal of next year's season.
I was going to ask, I'm sure that everything's pretty much lined up for next year, is it?
It's amazing. One of the most original programs I've ever seen.
What?
And we've put it together. It's going to be great. I'll tell you what it is right now. It's Bach to the Future. A bit of a novel idea, but every concert's got Bach. Every concert has something new, including a world premiere. We're going to have soloists from Yanni that are going to be joining us.
Oh, my
It's going to be an
gosh.
amazing season. You can learn all about it when you come to our concert on May 5th.
Oh, that's called a tease, ladies and gentlemen. They're making you come to the concert. There you go, May 5th at 3 o'clock at the Sandler Center. You can call that number or visit symphonicity.org to find out more information. Daniel, Lynette, thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll be right back. Thank you for sticking with us for Coastal Connections. You know, it is certainly springtime, and I kind of feel like the best way to realize that it's spring is when you start to see this happen. You see the little plant? We're talking now about Project PlantIt, because it's not just important to notice that these plants are starting to bloom and to grow and to develop, but we need to educate people on how to do that, especially our kids. So joining me now is Suyapa Marquez from Dominion Energy. Wonderful to see you.
Good to see you again.
It's wonderful to talk about this every year because you know spring is coming, you know the
Yes.
plants are coming back around,
Yes.
and it's great to be able to educate our kids about how to take care of them
Exactly.
when they start to bloom. So what exactly does Project PlantIt do, and when was it developed by Dominion Energy?
So Dominion Energy started Project PlantIt in 2007.
Okay.
So this year will actually make our 13th year.
Wow.
So we did it to educate. It started as third graders only. Students, to teach them all about the importance of trees and the environment and how to take care of them. We give them a tree so they can plant, so they can learn how to take care of the environment, to have something that they could actually see. If they take care of it, it'll grow. If you take care of the environment, it'll give it back to you. So that's what we're really teaching the kids, like how to love the environment, how to take care of something that is really alive. So we have SOL, we have education programs for the teachers on the website that the teachers could use. It could be centered all around STEM. They have games for the children from elementary, middle to high school. We have the program open up to everyone, so not just students, educators, garden clubs, civic groups, Boy Scouts. It's really open up to all of our 18 states where we service.
I love that. I was going to ask, so this is
Yes.
not just for Hampton Roads, but Hampton Roads
Correct.
certainly a big part of it.
Yes, very big part of it, yes.
How many kids
Several
in Hampton
thousands.
Roads?
Well, there's like several thousands. We're about maybe 9,000, 10,000 just in Hampton Roads alone, but it is open to our 18 states where we service.
And and I feel like being able to take care of a plant, especially when we're talking about children, it's not just educating them physically about learning about plants, but
Yes.
it's almost like these philosophical lessons too, right?
Yes,
Take care of something, watch it grow, watch it
Yes.
develop discipline,
Exactly.
those sorts of things.
Exactly. So we give them a tree and we really encourage the students, if you are able to plant it outside. If not, then you can plant it in a planter and you can stay here. I have people that have it for 3 years in the planter before it actually goes outside. So it really is taking a tangible thing, learning how to plant it, but then again, watching it grow, watering it, making sure it gets water. And watch it grow. If you take care, just like if you take care of yourself, you feed yourself, you're gonna grow. You're gonna be healthy. And that's what we're really teaching the children.
And you all supply all of the little tree seedlings
Yes.
since 2007.
Since 2007, it's a totally free program, and we give every educator that signs up, the students or the parent or the grandparent that signs up their child gets a free Eastern Redbud, which is native to Virginia and is really native to a lot of the areas where we are in. It's a pollinating tree, so of course that's what's going to cause all the allergies.
Right.
But,
So
it's
that's
a
what this is going to
beautiful tree.
be.
Yes, that's what it will be in years. Yes.
I was going to ask, how long does it take to go from this tiny little thing to what we just saw?
It could be anywhere. I mean, that's a process. That's probably 20 years down the road. But it's not a really tall tree. But when it gets there, it's so beautiful, and it could have either white, red, or pink buds. It's so beautiful.
Oh my good. And I can
Yes.
imagine over the last, you say 13 years or
13
so,
years.
everything you all have distributed. How many seedlings do you think you've given out over all these years?
So we gave out 70,000 this year.
Ooh.
So that's 570,000 throughout 13 years, which if all the trees are planted would be like 1,425.
Yeah.
trees like in a forest. So that's how much we would have given back to the environment if all of the trees are planted.
I love to be able to visualize it in that way.
Yes,
Everybody does their
yes.
small part, we make a
Yes,
forest.
Exactly.
I love it. How can people get more information?
Go to the website, www.projectplantit.com, and like us, and all the information is out there.
Awesome. So you can
Yes.
check out Facebook as well. And I'm sure if
Yes.
schools are interested in being involved, maybe they can contact you too?
Yes, contact us on Facebook. And sign-ups, of course, they began in October. And we have a limited first-come, first-served basis. So we're out, but next year, end of this year, we'll start all over again in October.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Siapa Marquez with Dominion Energy and Project PlantIt. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful. And thank you for being a part of Coastal Connections. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and a great week. Have a great day. Don't forget, all this information is also on 13newsnow.com. Take care.